Every ways to cook eggs explained. Fried egg. This is the most straightforward way to cook an egg, requiring nothing more than a hot pan and a little butter or oil. The white sets into a firm, crisp-edged shape while the yolk stays completely liquid, ready to spill out the moment you pierce it. The key difference between a good fried egg and a great one comes down to heat management. Too hot and the edges burn before the white finishes cooking, too low and the egg turns pale and rubbery. Scrambled egg. Here the egg is stirred continuously as it cooks, breaking the white and yolk into soft, curdled pieces that range from creamy and loose to firm and dry depending on how long you leave the pan on the heat. Most home cooks add a splash of milk or cream to slow down the cooking process and create a fluffier texture, though purists argue that a proper scramble needs nothing but eggs, salt, and a gentle hand. The difference between good scrambled eggs and bad ones is often measured in seconds, because they go from perfectly creamy to dry and crumbly almost instantly. Boiled egg. This method involves lowering the egg into simmering water while still in its shell, then letting the heat travel inward to set the white and yolk at different rates. A soft-boiled egg gives you a runny yolk and a barely set white, ideal for dipping toast soldiers or breaking over a bowl of rice. A hard-boiled egg cooks until both white and yolk are completely firm, turning it into a portable snack that keeps for days in the refrigerator. The trick is timing, because 3 minutes produces a very different result than 9 minutes, and even 30 seconds changes the final texture noticeably. Poached egg. Poaching means cracking an egg into barely simmering water without any shell or pan grease to shape it, so the white wraps around the yolk naturally as it cooks. The result is a delicate, silky egg with no fried edges and a yolk that remains completely liquid, often served over toast, salads, or grain bowls. Many people find poached eggs intimidating because the whites can scatter into threads if the water is too hot or too still, but a small swirl of vinegar or a gentle whirlpool motion usually solves the problem. Baked egg. Also called shirred eggs, this method involves cracking an egg into a small dish or ramekin and cooking it in the oven until the white sets and the yolk reaches your preferred doneness. Baked eggs are often paired with cream, cheese, herbs, or leftover vegetables, because the shallow dish allows toppings to blend with the egg as it cooks. The oven heats more gently than a stovetop, so the white sets without any browning or crisp edges, creating a cleaner, more uniform texture than fried eggs. Steamed egg. Steaming places the egg above simmering water rather than directly in it, using moist heat to cook the egg gently and evenly. A whole egg steamed in its shell produces a result very similar to a boiled egg but with a slightly softer white and a more tender yolk. Often served over rice with a drizzle of soy sauce and sesame oil. Cracked into a bowl and steamed without stirring, the egg turns into a smooth, custard-like disc that is common in East Asian cooking. Microwaved egg. This is the fastest method, requiring about 30 to 60 seconds in a microwave-safe bowl or mug. The microwave heats water molecules inside the egg almost instantly, causing the white and yolk to puff up and cook rapidly. Without proper ventilation, a microwaved egg can explode or turn rubbery, so it helps to pierce the yolk or cover the bowl loosely with a lid or paper towel. Despite the texture being less refined than stovetop methods, microwaved eggs are a practical choice for quick breakfast sandwiches or office lunches. Omelet. An omelet begins like scrambled eggs but is left to set into a flat sheet before folding over a filling of cheese, vegetables, meat, or herbs. The French style keeps the surface pale and the interior slightly runny, rolled into a smooth cylinder with no browning. The American style cooks the egg until fully set and golden brown, folding it in half around the filling like a pocket. Both versions start with beaten eggs poured into a hot buttered pan, but the timing, folding technique, and heat level produce two very different dishes from the same basic ingredients. Coddled egg. Coddling means cooking an egg in a small porcelain cup called a coddler, which sits in simmering water like a miniature double boiler. The egg never touches the water directly, instead cooking gently in its own container until the white is fully set and the yolk remains soft and warm. This method was popular in the early 20th century as a more elegant alternative to boiling, because the coddler could be brought to the table with the egg still inside, keeping it hot without overcooking. Pickled egg. Pickling starts with a hard-boiled egg that is peeled and submerged in a vinegar-based brine with salt, sugar, and spices. Over several days or weeks, the brine penetrates the egg, turning the white firm and rubbery while adding a sour, salty, and sometimes sweet flavor. Pickled eggs are not eaten hot or fresh, instead they are stored in jars at room temperature or in the refrigerator as a long-lasting snack commonly found in pubs, delis, and home pantries. And that's why one simple egg can turn into so many different dishes. From frying and boiling to steaming and pickling, each method creates its own unique result. Which one is your favorite? Let me know below, and I'll see you in the next video.